And I decided to go back and read it in preparation for the talk to see if James Herriot ever did telemedicine. And sure enough, he did. Right? Most of the stories are him going out to the farm, but early on in the book, there's a farmer with mastitis. James doesn't want to go out to the call, so he advises the owner. He diagnoses, hey, old cow's got mastitis, right? Farmer says, oh, there's flakes in the milk or whatever. He says, oh, the old cow's got mastitis. This is what I want you to do until I come out tomorrow, right? James Herriot is practicing telemedicine. Okay, so in Indiana, if you read that there, I think it's on page 2, where it specifically lists out the Practice Act, our Practice Act in the state of Indiana. And the word that's under interpretation, that we don't know yet, is the animal's been seen. Now, is that seen via my screen? Or does that mean seen as far as I put my hands on Fluffy? So counsel says the most conservative interpretation is that you've put your hands on Fluffy, right? Or Trigger. You've touched Trigger. You've been there in person. But it's open for interpretation. When they did the Practice Act, I don't know how long ago this Practice Act, do you remember when we did this Practice Act? 10, 15 years? What?
2008.
Okay, so in 2008, this wasn't on the radar screen when we were putting this together. Nobody was thinking, do we need to define what seen is? So that's why it's up for interpretation. Counsel says the most conservative thing to do is to consider that still that you're touching them. But how it would get defined under the current Practice Act is somebody would have to come in front of the Board of Examiners. Now the other thing that we can do is we can adjust the Practice Act if we choose to do that. So as a body of IVMA, that'll be conversations that we'll be having.
Mm-hmm. So this is when he can start a real-time video consult.
So you get out of your PJs probably.
So that's why we allow the doctor to control it, because he has to make sure, or she has to make sure that they're in a safe place where you're not going to violate any HIPAA privacy. So that's why patients can't just ping you. You have to make sure and kind of set the scene for them. Hey, I'm going to call you, make sure you're in a place you can talk to me.
And the client